Hello traders, today is September 18, 2024. Today I'm gonna go over 13 different names. As per usual, this is not financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research and due diligence before you invest your capital in any type of equities. That being said, let's start with Apple. And I've been day trading Apple in the past few sessions, and the reason for that is because I've been seeing a lot of I guess uncertainty, and it's been rather, I wouldn't say easy, but as I mentioned in other videos, I'm very familiar with this name, and I would say somewhat successful at scalping or just day trading this particular ticker. Now, for what I see for the one-day chart, I do believe that the fact that we didn't go under 215, which is one of my levels right here, is a very positive thing. I do believe that we actually have a little bit more room to continue going towards 225. Now, we got rejected right at the 35 SMA, and you know, all things considered, and you know, seeing how some news affected Apple on Monday, I believe. Was it Monday? Yes. And this was pre-orders or pre-sales for the iPhone 16 are not what they were expecting, or they are coming slow. Anyways, I do believe that there's still a little bit of fuel going towards 225. I think if we break 225, we are definitely going to run possibly towards 233 and maybe towards newer highs. I do like Apple. I do believe that, again, if there is not more anything like bad news or anything like that, we might see a continuation here. Now, that being said, as you all know, we had interest cuts today by 0.5, and I think that is going to bring a lot of uncertainty for the next, in my opinion, 5 to 6 months. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be opportunities. I still think there's going to be opportunities, and as I said before, the market is always a shit show, and I do believe that you can still catch opportunities, and you know, as long as you're cautious with your how you invest and how you manage your risk, you're probably going to be in a winner side for the most part, I would say. Anyways, your levels right now are 215, 225. Let's break the 35 SMA, and after that, I do believe that 225 is going to come. Again, I've been day trading Apple, and I've been taking advantage of some of the setups that you would see in the beginning of the day. This time, I did get a long position, and in this area right here, when you were going on the 35 SMA, and then it moved. Then I got rid of it somewhere around here, and then I did take another position right here, right when we went under the 35 SMA, and this one I did let it run a little bit longer, and when we were getting closer to the 200 SMA, I got out. After that, I just didn't want to trade at all because of you know, power speech and whatnot, and I just didn't want to deal with this. It was pretty obvious that it was going to be you know, volatile and dangerous to day trade, in my opinion. So it was a pretty decent day. I did also trade Microsoft today, and it was a nice trade anyways as well. Anyways, let's move on to AFLAC AFL, and let me take a note here pretty quick. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just mentioning this name because it looks pretty overextended. However, the MACD and the TSI are already cooling down. That is, I wouldn't say problematic if you want to go short, but what I'm seeing here is a double top. Don't be surprised if you come down towards the 35 SMA, and then you can reassess. But I think there's a good opportunity for AFL, you know, to buy or to do an overnight swing or whatnot to the downside. my support level at this point is 105. It's 104.92, but let's say it's 105. And but I think you are gonna find some maybe some sort of support as well at the 35 SMA. What I like about this chart is that you have low liquidity here, volume is not too crazy, and the MACD and the TSI are already cooling down. And they did actually a little bit after the RSI, which is fine, but I do believe that there is opportunity to the downside. AFL right now is on my short list. By the way, I do post a lot of these names on Twitter. This is my account right here, and you know, I did put Palantir and PDD, so some of the names that I mentioned are gonna be here, or some others are not. AGL, I think that's it's coming up, but anyways, there's a lot of value right here as far as breakdowns on what I see, and also on basically a picture of the chart and a little bit of an explanation of what I'm doing. Anyways, let's move on to Affirm, and that is another name that, you know, I should say maybe is double topping here. Now we'll see what kind of influence lower interests are going to have with Affirm for obvious reasons, but for now, just what I'm seeing on the chart, it looks like it's overextended. It looks like it could have a little bit more of a, you know, I guess of momentum to the upside, but it's having a hard time breaking this 44.7 level. And yeah, it could be, you can say 45, but you also have low liquidity to the downside. And, you know, a couple of weeks ago, right after earnings, what I said is like, this already looks overextended, and you're probably gonna start filling this gap. And that's what happened. I did have some puts right here, and I got out right when we were getting close, basically to the 200 SMA. I saw weakness in this candle and I got out, and I think there was there was a pretty good trade. I honestly thought this was gonna fill the whole gap, but it only did half of it. But again, normally when I see weakness on my swings, I get out, you know, especially if, you know, if you already have your green, and you know, you just don't wanna keep losing money. I guess if this is going to reverse on you, I think it's just a good idea that if the move is getting or losing momentum, then just get out. And that's what I normally do. I try to I tend to trade on I guess paranoia, and it works out for me pretty well. Anyways, it went back up after this support level at 35, and now we are rejecting at 45 again. What I have is 44.7, but yeah, just keep an eye on this. We might come down to 39, and at that point, these indicators, if it comes down slowly, these indicators are gonna cool down a little bit, and then there might be an opportunity to continue going up. So I also like the fact that the 35 SMA is approaching the 200 SMA, and that's actually a positive sign. So for now, I think it's just a good idea to wait a little bit and see what happens towards the end of the week, and then you can position, you know, whatever you want to risk, either to the downside, or I honestly would wait a little bit. It still looks a little bit extended. So we'll see what happens here. Affirm looks a little bit intriguing. I'm just keeping an eye on this. I'm mentioning Affirm quite often because basically what I'm seeing on the chart, and there might be some opportunity for either way, either to the upside or downside in the near future. Now let's talk about AGL. And I did mention this on the 15th. And it was a Sunday, so I was looking at this candle right here. What I was saying is like, this is looking very good. You have this downtrend. I did mention this on X or Twitter on the 15th as well. So this was on Sunday, and this is how the chart looked. So this is what we had on Sunday. Let's go back to Trader View, and then now we had a pretty good day. It was up almost 12% at one point, or a little bit over 12% at one point today. Anyways, it closed at 9.6%. It went over this resistance level at 3.73. My last post on X, I'm saying, well, obviously your next resistance level is 444. I just like this setup. It worked out very nicely. You know, on Monday you had a red day and it was down almost 7%. So that was nasty. But then look how it came back. So this was one of the setups that I love to trade, because you have a very defined downtrend, and the MACD and the TSI are starting to curl, and then they get a little neutral, especially the MACD, and then there is a reaction to the upside. I don't think it is too late to get in. You just want to see how this behaves tomorrow on an I guess a time frame that could be maybe the 5-minute or something like that, or the 15-minute, and then see if there is more opportunity just to catch something for a continuation to the upside. After this resistance level at 444, there is very little liquidity, actually a little bit under. There's little liquidity that is going to take you towards 550. You might also encounter that 35 SMA right at resistance. So it would, if it breaks, it's probably gonna break both at the same time, which is gonna give you further confirmation for this move. That's what I have for AGL. I mentioned this on Sunday, this is Friday's candle, and then look what you see right here. Looks pretty good. Let's do another name that I think is very overextended, and that is APP. So look at this chart right here, and I don't know. Let's take a look at the weekly and see what we see. It still looks overextended, in my opinion, on the weekly. So I don't know. In my opinion, there might be an opportunity here to the downside. I think I'm just gonna wait and see with a little bit more of clarity. But this candle right here is also telling you that there is a little bit of a cool down. It's been the first red day in quite a few since Wednesday of last week, since the 11th. So you had a very nice move right here, and you were already a little bit well, you weren't overextended here. You were actually looking pretty good, if you ask me. But there is, in my opinion, a little bit of an overextension right here. Do you still have room to the upside? Yes, I do believe that there is still more room to the upside. Every single candle here from the 11th up until today has given you all-time highs for this name. So yeah, I do believe that we might encounter a little bit of I guess exhaustion in this area, maybe a little bit higher, which in my opinion would be better if you want to go short on this. And then, you know, it is probably going to stabilize a little bit. And who knows, maybe continue going up or just break support and just continue going down towards the 200 SMA. But for now, I really like this name to the downside. I'm just going to wait because, again, it still has more room. Based upon what you're seeing here on the MACD and the TSI, the RSI is also, it's obviously overbought, but that doesn't mean that there is not room for continuation. Let's go back to the weekly. Yeah, I mean, there might be a little more of a continuation here, but just keep it on your short list because this type of moves tend to collapse sooner than later. That's what I have for APP. And then AppLovin Corporation, that's the name of it. I think it's a Palo Alto, well, it's a Northern California tech company. I'm not sure yet exactly what they do. I have an idea, but okay, let's do Cava. So this is another name that I've been mentioning a lot. It's having a really hard time breaking this resistance level at 25.8, let's say 26 maybe. And I do believe that if you don't break this with any momentum, it's just going to continue. It's actually going to go down. There's definitely a lot of opportunity here. The P ratio for this is super high. I think it's 300x, which tells you that this is you know, a little bit overpriced. but I think that you're definitely gonna come down towards 110. There is opportunity here to the downside as well. Today it was up 1.5%, and again, if we don't break this level at 126, you're definitely gonna come down quickly towards 110. If you break 110, then there's definitely room to continue going below the 100s. So keep an eye on Cava. Now let's do a name that I like, kind of like medium term. I wouldn't say long term, and I can explain why. And that is HIMS. And the reason why I like this short term is basically what I'm seeing on the chart. Nothing else. There is definitely room, but it's losing momentum, and that's one of those things that make me think that you're either gonna get back in between these two indicators at 35 SMA, this one right here, and the 200 SMA, which is this line right here, and you might end up ranging here or right on this area at 1534. So if you break support at 1534, your next support level is gonna be the 200 SMA. And you might actually be trapped there a little bit, but this is going to get narrower and narrower. Anyways, I do like HIMS to the upside, yet I don't like the fact that we're losing momentum this way. The RSI is not looking bad. The DSI is still showing strength, which is a good thing, but you want to see a little bit of a better push. We might actually get that, in the next sessions. And it closed today at 1.3%, and after hours is actually up 0.67%. Not too bad, but I do think again that you need a little more volume just to continue going up towards 18.7. Now it would be optimal, and I like to see these kind of things, if we go down to support at 15.3, and then you push back up towards 18. Anyways, long term, one of the issues that I have with HIMS, as much as I like their business model, is that once Walmart and Amazon get into this type of business models, and they probably will, HIMS is just going to be gone, because you just can't compete with that type of. I don't think they would be able to compete. So I'm pretty sure that Amazon is going to get into this type of business models sooner than later, and for that reason, it's not a thing for me to buy and hold as an investment position. But for the short term or medium term, well, I don't think it's a bad proposition. So for now, keep an eye on your 35 SMA, which is this line right here. Keep an eye on your support, 35 or 1534, and or that area. Your resistance level at 16 or 18, yes, 18.7. So that is what I have for HIMS. And let's move on to another name that I was scalping or day trading, and that was Microsoft. So one of the things that I like about this setup is, and we're coming back to support. We are back at 430. And if we continue breaking this and we go towards the 35 SMA, which is basically going to be at the same level at 415, that would be a gift. I think in general, if the market actually has a pullback for the next week or so, that would give us so many opportunities. The market has to still digest rate cuts and everything around it. It has to, I guess, position itself better. But for now, I do believe that if we break 430, we're definitely gonna go down. Shouldn't say definitely, but very probable that we're gonna go down to 415. There's definitely opportunity here. During the day, it wasn't that difficult to trade up until these areas right here, but I did take a long position on this area right here, or maybe back here, and then I got out pretty quickly. I don't know if you can see it well enough. And then I did get a short position on this area as well. It wasn't very long, so I was out right under the 35 SMA, somewhere in this area right here. I wasn't, I was actually thinking, is this going to continue going up? But I just didn't see, just didn't like the lack of, I guess, momentum in this area. There wasn't enough divergence in the MACD. So I was like, well, I just made a little money. Let's just get out. And I was getting busy at this time of the day, and I knew this, 11 a.m. was coming around, which was the time of the Powell or the release of the interest rates cuts, and then I was out. But just imagine if I had my long position here, where I entered somewhere around here, and then I was coming out right here, and that would have been very, very nice. Anyways, it finished the day right under support at 1 or 430, and with minus 1% for the day. That's what I have for Microsoft. Again, we might actually get some opportunity. Actually, if you also, this is also a nice setup because you're retesting 430, you might actually also see a continuation to the upside. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Pre-market is probably going to give us a lot of insight of what is going to happen for the rest of the day. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. I haven't looked at NVIDIA for a while, and I think that, let me do this quick. There's still weakness in this whole sector. I'm going to talk in a minute about SMH as well. And it looks a little bit weak. You're right under the 35 SMA. I think if this continues, you're going to go down towards 100, 101. That's what I have right now. We'll see if momentum comes back in within the next session or not, or two, I'm sorry. But for now, I do believe that this might continue going down towards 101. Now, if you actually get momentum, meaning buyers coming in, you have to break 117, and then you might continue towards 130. That will be super interesting. There is a lot of liquidity in this area, so you might find some resistance coming in. This sector in general has been a little bit weak, but that doesn't mean that there could be a change of direction. Your levels right now are 113 or 114 as a resistance, and your support is at least, or that support that I have, or that I'm looking at, is 100, 101. That's what I have for NVIDIA. Let's move on to Palantir. And let me take a quick note right here. Palantir, in my opinion, looks a little bit overextended. I like this stock, even as a long-term investment. I do like Palantir, but what I'm seeing right now on the chart looks like it's a little bit, not a little bit, it's overextended. The MACD is losing a little bit of direction, and the TSI still has some strength, but they're very high over the zero line. That tells you that you're losing a little bit of momentum. Today was basically flat for Palantir, so we'll see what we get in the next few days. Again, we could have a very positive reaction this week for in the market, and in that case, you're just going to continue going up, and this is going to be even more extended than what it looks right now. I think if there is a cool down, you're not going to feel this gap, so there should be a wait. Normally I put these rectangles on here, so I don't think you're going to feel this gap, but you're definitely going to come if there is if you lose momentum, or that the market gets a little bit of a pullback. I think you're definitely going to go to 32, and then you're probably going to bounce back, or the 35 SMA at that point, and you're going to move back towards higher levels. What I also think is there would be a lot of benefit if we actually come down, because there is opportunity to actually come in and go long on this name. I like Palantir to the upside, but for now, I do think it's overextended. Not an entry for me in any of these areas. Even if I see this in lower time frames, you can actually see the weakness that is getting into. Let's see if we go. Yeah, it looks pretty It looks pretty extended in my opinion. That's what I have for Palantir. Just keep an eye on this name. If it goes down, definitely for next week or two, or in 2 weeks, there's might be an opportunity here. But again, this looks very stretched. Let's take a look. I mentioned this before at where are you? SMH. And there you go. Sorry, I take notes as I go sometimes. So you had two bounces basically on the 200 SMA, and I think we are going towards the 200 SMA again. That might give us an opportunity to the upside. But again, the sector, the semiconductor sector in general, I think is a little bit weak. And we might continue seeing that weakness in the near future. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to sell out. There's a sell-off coming up or whatnot. You can also argue that this is getting tighter and tighter, which is very obvious right here. You can put patterns or whatever you want, but in reality also you are coming right under the 35 SMA and you're on your way to the 200 SMA. My support level in this case is a 200 SMA, and you're probably going to get a rebound at that point. But again, we'll see what we get tomorrow. We'll see what we get in the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday. And that could also make a change of direction to the upside, which also will give you a nice opportunity. So my resistance level right now, or my support level right now, is at 200 SMA. And right now, I also think that your resistance is at 35 SMA. If you mount this with some sort of momentum in the next day or two, then we can start talking about a move to the upside. But for now, still looking weak. We'll see what tomorrow brings and what Friday brings. Friday is a day that has low liquidity in general. Let's take a look for... Oh, you know what? Let's do... Before I do, I was on the Tesla, but let's do SPY and take a look at how SPY is looking. I see three, you're topping here 1, 2, 3, so a triple top. That's what I see right now. MACD and TSI, they're not overextended. The RSI is looking okay. So I do believe that if weakness comes around, you're definitely going to hit 550. You're going to hit that 35 SMA probably at the same time, if anything. And then we can reassess if there's going to be anything is indicating that you're going to continue or reverse and continue going up. But I'm a little bit bearish on this case in particular, just by looking at the chart, nothing else. So keep an eye on SPY on this level. It's been trying to break this area at 565, and it hasn't been successful. Today was an all-time high, I guess, for SPY. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see if this actually breaks in the next few days. That would be super interesting. And again, the MACD and the TSI are not overextended, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see green. Tomorrow we mount this and then we continue going up. That will be quite interesting. There is very low liquid. There's nothing here. I mean, you're getting into unknown territory here, so that's pretty obvious. But we'll see what we get here. There's a lot of liquidity here, so there's resistance on this level for sure. And again, if we do not break this, then your support level is 550. Your resistance level for now continues to be 565. We'll see what we get tomorrow. And let's finish this video with Tesla. And wait. Look at this. So I've been saying for a while that my levels right now, or my range for Tesla, is 234 to in the beginning was 163. Then things got a little bit tighter. Then I changed that to 186. Now I think that things are continue to get a little bit more tighter. So my range for now is going to go from 186 to 206. So what I think is, and we are probably going to be playing in this area if we break this level right here that actually goes right in the middle of this triangle. is having a really hard time breaking 234, 235. But I do believe that if we continue going up, and if this gets tighter, because it is, we are probably going to break this and go easily to 265 again. And this is going to be a level, if we break 235, 265 is going to be another challenging area for Tesla. A lot of volume is consolidating here. MACD and TSI are moving very slow, which is a good thing I guess it's a good thing for volatility, because that will break something either to the upside or the downside. I would prefer if Tesla goes to the upside, but we'll see. If you break 235, there's very low liquidity here. You have a gap right here to fill, and then you definitely can move a little bit farther towards 265. We'll see if that happens. You have to break, you have to get out of this range. And again, you have this obvious area right here, which is pretty small, but I do believe in general for the next, I guess, month or so, my area would be 206 to 234. We'll see what we get here. You break 234, 235, and then you're running. That would be quite interesting. That's all I have for you guys today. I will make sure to post more stuff on X. I've been quite busy lately, and I've been dealing with a lot of stuff business-wise. So I'm just trying to make time for this. Anyways, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Like and follow, and or subscribe and follow on X. And that's all I have for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.